Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, entitled parent parks in my driveway. Entitled parents ruin 17th birthday. Customer doesn't understand the concept of paying for a gift card. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled parent parks in my driveway. I own a house a couple houses down from a school, so this was bound to happen eventually. When it's time for the kids to go home, my street is lined bumper to bumper with parents to pick up their kids. The sidewalks are full of families who walk all the way to their cars. I often have to pick up balloons, snack packaging, old homework worksheets, and general garbage that the kids drop. If you're trying to get home around the time school lets out, there's no way you're going to be able to get there before the blockade the parents make is gone. This has been a problem the few years we've lived here. There's two places the kids let out: my street, which is a small cul-de-sac with the school at the top, and a main road that's open all the way down to a baseball park with a wider road to allow street parking and two-way driving. Obviously, if you can't find parking, the tiny residential road isn't the way to go. There are 3 cars at my home: my car, my roommate's car, and my husband's utility van, which he parks on the road to avoid blocking our roommate since she's frequently in and out. Fridays, today, I work from home. So when I finished work, I poke my head out the window to look at my fruit tree I have near my driveway. It's spring, I keep excitedly looking for blooms, and I notice a big white Buick SUV in the middle of my driveway blocking both spots for my car, which my husband was using since I was home, and my roommate's spot. Honestly, why would you park in somebody's driveway? So on top of these entitled parents blocking up our small residential road, this person decided to take up a private residence's driveway. I got on the phone with the non-emergency police line and took pictures of the vehicle and plate. Then I got my husband's keys and backed his vehicle up to block the SUV into my driveway, and I waited. 15 minutes later, the mom, bug-eye sunglasses, big old diamonds on her jewelry, and wearing athleisure, and she comes around to hop in the driver's seat and smiles and waves at me sitting on my steps. Honestly, she probably thought I was the homeowner's kid or something, because I'm in my early 20s rather than the homeowner. Hi, hope you don't mind. Me, you're trespassing, why would you park in a private driveway? Sorry, won't do it again, we were just leaving. She was being really dismissive and avoiding eye contact despite taking the sunglasses off. Me, I don't care, you have no right to park on my property, I'm on the phone with the police. It was just for a second, I was just picking up my daughter. Me, it doesn't matter, you don't live here, you don't park here. At this point, I realize the non-emergency police aren't going to pick up, so I hang up and decide to mess with her a bit. She got in her SUV and dismissively waved at me, so I got in my vehicle that was blocking her in and waited, pretending to still be on the phone. She starts trying to back out of my driveway because I little bit of a gap between my utility van and my neighbor's car, but it was definitely too small for this Buick. I would like to point out this vehicle has a scuffed front bumper, so I had a feeling she has no spatial awareness outside of her backup camera. Every time she backed up, I honked, still pretending to be on the phone. She tried again, I honked again. She looked at my grass and I was about to start recording her in case she tried to go through my front yard, I honked again. If she kept trying to back out and hit my big utility van, she would certainly lose. She gets out of her SUV and comes up to my van, recognizing she can't do anything without making it far worse for herself. Her face was visibly patchy from the distress, and she asked again, are you really calling the police? Me, yes, you're illegally parked on my private property, that's illegal. I don't care if it's for 5 seconds, don't do it, you don't live here. Her kid got out of the car and I decided that was enough, so I waited for her to get back in her SUV and I parked my van back in its rightful spot and let her out. After that, I called the school and gave them the license plate number. Nothing will probably come of it, but I don't think she'll park in someone's driveway again anytime soon. I'll take the asshole points because there's a child involved, but you shouldn't put your child in situations like this anyways. I had the same exact problem when I lived near a school. The entitled parents were rude AF, would curse me out if I told them to move, and one went as far as to threaten me that she would call the police on me when she was blocking my driveway. So, I sent a long email to our city's mayor telling her that due to all the jaywalking, double parking, and parents/kids walking out between vehicles, it was a matter of time before someone gets killed. I invited her to come to my home during morning drop-off time to watch the chaos. Believe it or not, she emailed back and said she was going to come over and that she would bring breakfast. She also brought with her one of the town councilors who happened to be a former police officer. The councilor lost his mind. He started ranting about all of the laws the entitled parents were doing, parking on corners, parking in front of fire hydrants, double parking, blocking driveways, and much more. That afternoon, town workers dug holes for signs. The next days, there were signs for basically every possible infraction up and down our street, but the best was the no parking sign that they placed in front of my property. The town then said their plan was to show up every day for the next 2 weeks to ticket everyone. Then they were going to randomly ticket at various times each week afterwards. It was glorious. The best thing was that the mayor called me at the beginning of their next fiscal year to tell me that due to all the fines they gave out, they were able to afford a new bylaw officer to work directly with the school system to tackle this problem in other schools. I would have called a tow truck. Legally I could have, but I went for psychological damage instead. Very similar to what our little neighborhood goes through. We live in a private townhome community that backs up to a high school. Although we are not gated, there are signs at both entrances stating that it is private property, no street parking, etc. Entitled parents think they can swing in one entrance, drop off/pick up their kids, then leave out the other entrance. We took to having our security patrol block off both entrances before and after school. Parents went nuts and called the police multiple times to complain about not having access to public roads, only to be shut down by the PD. Needless to say, we get a lot of hate from some parents. Once, a mom was able to get into the community before the patrol service blocked off the driveway. She was told she needed to leave as she was both trespassing and blocking a fire lane. Just going to be a minute, not hurting anything, public street. She gave all the usual excuses, so the patrol officer called the PD to have her ticketed for trespassing and blocking a fire lane. When the police officer arrived and approached her car to get her information, she tried to run over the security patrol guy. Needless to say, it didn't end well for her. But, at least we didn't have problems with entitled parents for quite a few months after that. This is a huge issue where I live, only it's a cemetery, not a neighborhood next to the school. There have been funeral processions unable to get into the cemetery because parents park in the way of the main gate to wait for their middle school-aged kids to come out. At my grandmother's graveside, the pastor was mid-prayer and some asshat, who was stuck because our funeral procession parked him in, slammed on the horn, and when none of us went to move the cars, he drove over 6 or 7 graves and almost took out a headstone. All with his kid in the front seat. The cemetery, funeral home, and my family all turned up at the next school board meeting. They put a notice out to all families that the cemetery is not a pickup/drop-off area. It's gotten a little better, but the cemetery workers still have to threaten to call the police every week. I was listening to this guy on the radio once talking about learned behaviors, and he told a story about a school his kids went to. He said the school was on a long street with houses on the other side. When it was drop-off or pick-up time, there was not a lot of parking at the school, so that street would fill up. People who got there late tended to park across the house owners' driveways, except the house of the little old lady at the end of the street. At the start of the school year, the first person to park across her driveway got a tin of paint dumped on their windscreen. Of course, there was always yelling and screaming, and apparently police were called, but no one would park across her driveway again for the rest of the year. That's some Golden Girls Sophia goals for me. Entitled parents ruin 17th birthday. So this is well over a year past, but I decided to share this event. I, F18, was excited for my 17th birthday, as any kid would be. I had seen my 4 siblings get their presents and birthday celebrations, party for kids who wanted them, dinner for kids who chose not to have a party. I was excited because I finally had friends to invite to a party. I hyped the week up, telling them that I wanted to bring my friends to watch movies and have pizza and play board games. I had decided to work that day, only to see my favorite coworkers. When my dad woke me up, nothing was said. I went to work and came home and just sat around. I got no presents, no happy birthdays, no dinner. When I brought it up to my parents later, they said that we didn't have the money at the time to afford me presents or a party. I was hurt, but understanding, we'd always had money issues. But later that evening, Dad took me and my sister to Best Buy, where he bought himself the newest Xbox console. I was hurt and cried myself to sleep. I never did get a 17th birthday party or presents of any sort. The best part of my day was my boyfriend driving to my job on his day off, just to see me on my break. Remind him of this in the far future when you dump him in the worst old folks' home you can find. Don't wait that long. Send them wrapped, empty boxes for presents forever. Wow. So, you can't afford to buy me any presents, but you can afford to get yourself a gift on my birthday. Gee, thanks, Dad. They didn't even verbally say happy birthday? Wow. That's horrible. I'm sorry Opie'd dump him in a nursing home when he gets old. He said that he had said happy birthday when he was waking me up. He's known me for every one of my 18 years on this earth and still has no clue that I sleep like the dead. My older sister got a big 18th birthday party. My older brother got a big 21st birthday party. When I asked my parents just before my 18th if I would get a party, I was told if I got an 18th party, my brother would be upset because he never, so it wouldn't be fair. When I asked my parents if that meant I'd get a 21st party instead, I was told if I got a 21st party, my sister would be upset because she never, so it wouldn't be fair. I didn't get any acknowledgement of my birthdays from any family except my brother after my 16th birthday. I married my first husband on my 19th birthday, but that just gave him an easy excuse to forget my birthday and our anniversary. My children, grandchildren, and second husband all make sure my birthday is a real celebration now XX. Next time, it's one of your parents' birthdays, do the same things that they did to you. If they complain or act all better, just say this: if we're going to start doing this to me, because I am older, then I don't have the money nor the time or even thought about saying anything nice to you on your birthday. It may be petty, but just tell them if this is how you're gonna treat me on my birthdays, I'm not collecting backlash when I treat you on your birthdays. But if there is a type that can treat you like trash like that on your birthday and expect you to be happy on your siblings' birthdays, I just tell the boyfriend, hey, let's do something fun with friends, and then show them just to make them mad. And if they get mad, say this: oh, you're mad that I had a good birthday and you didn't expect me to cry because you ignored me on mine. Oh, poor babies. Man, that hurts to read. I was in a similar situation when I was between 16 and 22. We weren't full of money and couldn't get things I want. Now that I'm 27 and somewhat got a job, I can redeem my childhood. Customer doesn't understand the concept of paying for a gift card. So I work in a retail store, and during my shift I was working on the till. For most of the day the customers were normal, some moody but not bad. Then 2 women with a little girl showed up and they put 3 items on the belt but let the kid keep a PS gift card. I ask if she had already paid on another till for the gift card. She says no. I ask if she's paying for it. She says no, she just likes the cards. Then in a much louder voice says, is there a problem? I tell her that she can't just take a product from our store without paying. Policy plus the stores get robbed enough. And she proceeds to huff at me loudly, then take the card out of her kid's hand and smacks it down on the counter, saying it's pathetic and telling her kid, the man won't give us the card, we'll get you one somewhere else. She proceeds to glare at me as she leaves and her friend pays, then shuffled out the door. I know it's not the most exciting of encounters on here, but it's one of my first real entitled encounters in my job, so I figured I'd share. And she'll be disappointed when the gift card has no money on it. Oh, she understands just fine. She was playing dumb, hoping to get a free card to sell off, pretending it is loaded with money to some poor idiot who doesn't know better. Thanks for stopping her. Either that or she thinks her kid can just take it for free like one of those paint cards you see at a hardware store. Bro, what's her problem? Her kid likes it isn't a viable excuse to take something. And she says she's going to get one from somewhere else. I feel bad. I know, man, but I knew people like her existed, just a matter of time before I met one. The entitlement. The fact she thinks she can just openly steal like that. WTF. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.